Hey everyone, this is Tony Reeves, and welcome to another edition of Easy, but Not So Easy.
In the know.
Good evening, everyone.
In the know.
Tony Reeves.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about filing your own lawsuit. If you're in a position where you feel that you've been wrong, filing a lawsuit on your own without an attorney may seem like an easy thing to do. It's easy because one, you know what happened. Two, you know who you want to sue. Three, you know what you want to have done. So those three things are fairly straightforward. The hard part, or the not so easy part, comes from the other things. Not knowing how specific you need to be. When you're filing a lawsuit, in most instances, there are certain things that has to be in that suit in order for the case to be advanced going forward. But if you don't know exactly what those things are, you may find yourself in a position of filing a lawsuit that might get dismissed because you didn't have all the specifics in there that you needed to provide. Knowing what the right court is. Because if you're not sure if it's a state court or a federal court or if it's a county court or whether the jurisdiction based on where you're at or where the person is at, you may find yourself not knowing what court you actually need to file the suit in. Which brings me to the right jurisdiction. Just because you're in a particular court, that court may not have jurisdiction or it's not something within the scope of what they can do. Well, if you don't know what jurisdiction the court has, then you're going to find yourself in a position of not knowing whether or not this is something the court could actually do. Understanding what the court can and can't do. This is kind of a play on this jurisdiction, but sometimes depending on what you're looking for the court to do, the court may not be able to do it. Then understanding what do you need to do after you file. Sometimes what happens, you get so excited about getting into court saying, I don't need an attorney, I'll do this on my own. And then you file and then you've gotten past the first hurdle, but then there's all these other things that have to happen afterwards, whether it be discovery, arguments that have things thrown out, things that you have to provide to them, things that they're going to want from you. If you don't know all those other things that need to be done, filing a lawsuit is great, but that may be the extent of what you're doing. If you're thinking that filing the lawsuit and then the court's going to take over, they're just there to referee. The actions going forward have to be what you do. I can't tell you all the jurisdiction around the entire country. I can tell you that you have to be mindful that there are some situations where the court has a preference to deal with an attorney. And usually they'll lay you out. I've only seen it in a couple of different instances. But be mindful. You might be filing and you may not be able to because you need to have somebody to represent you. Filing a lawsuit can be tricky. Getting legal help is something that a lot of people may feel uncomfortable doing. And if you feel that you can do this on your own and the court and systems allows you the ability to do it, take advantage of it if you choose to do so. Just know that there are some complexities that if you're not intimately familiar, you may be making your situation more difficult for yourself. So keep that in mind when you're deciding to file on your own or looking to get legal representation.